Hello everybody, welcome to the Joey Arnold Show. I'm Joey Arnold, and today we're going to talk about how do you grow up? How do we grow up? And everybody wants to know. Well, I'll let you know when I get there. Goodbye. Okay, obviously, that was a joke. I'm sorry to be joking around. I gotta just grow up. I need to grow up, man. I need to grow up. And so how do you grow up? And what does it mean, to grow up? That's what I want to talk about just a little bit, right now in this video. And I wanna say that there's good things about growing up, and there's, some bad things about it as well. And I really like Peter Pan and Robin Williams, who also played Peter Pan and Hook. And I like the kind of people that stay young, like forever young, like a sweet 16 age, or something like you have like your innocence when you're younger, and you know, this childlike attitude that you have. That they talk about in the Bible, with Jesus saying that you can only enter the kingdom like these children, these kids. Like, you gotta be like them, you gotta be innocent, and you gotta, like, mostly you just gotta be innocent. And that's the good thing about being young, is that you're innocent, and you're also naive, which can be a bad thing sometimes. To be ignorant, to be arrogant, to be blind. Those kinds of things are somewhat related to being naive, and my mother would call me naive when I was younger, most of the time, or sometimes when I would get in trouble, or when I was making mistakes. And you know, they say that boys will be boys, and I guess girls will be girls too, but they don't really say that as much, or like, I don't really hear people say that. But it's like, okay, first of all, we should talk about how do you grow up. Well, first of all, like, you know, like, growing up, it's not really about becoming older, and you can see that, like, there's some crazy old people running around, and some of them driving cars or motorbikes or something, and they're old and they're blind, and as we get older, we lose our sensitivity and our connection to the Force. Oh man, I cannot wait for the new Star Wars movie. I'm turning into a kid again, but I'm getting distracted. But it's not just about getting older. To grow up, you really gotta take responsibilities, and you really gotta think about other people. And so the number one thing about growing up is the ability to get over yourself, and to start thinking about the bigger picture of like the circle of life in The Lion King, and the ability to have selfless love. And they talk about that in House, a TV show with a doctor, and he's really old, and he has some problems, like he's arrogant, and he thinks he's better than other people, and because he's a really good doctor, and he always says things like people lie, and he also says, like, people are not really gonna do things for other people because people are selfish, and typically that's true, because people are bad. At least that's what I say, and that's what I believe. I strongly believe that we're born, like, not the best kind of people, because, like, you don't tell your children to steal and to lie and to do all these horrible things. You don't do that. Like, you don't, like, they do it. And you don't go to the parents and put them in jail because their children are doing some bad things. The kids are doing bad things because that's who we are. We're not perfect. If we're not perfect, that means we're not totally good. If we're not totally good, that means we're a little bad. And we might as well be totally bad. And a little bit bad is not perfect. To me, the definition of good is totally perfect, not just like a little good. And I'm sorry, I mean, like, it's like, I'm sorry, it's like, of course we're a little good sometimes. We can do good things. And as we get older, we can choose, like, the dark side, like Darth Vader in Star Wars, and we can do more bad things and become like a criminal, the antagonist, and do all these horrible things. Or we can choose the smaller path and do things more like the Jedi, like the good people, and like West Side Story or something. Like I don't know. I don't know about West Side Story, but I know a little bit about my story. But then again, I'm really confused about my story too. But basically, it's like I just want you to know that like I don't like it when people say, "Oh, there's the good people and then there's the bad people," because to me, we're all bad people. But it's only like what we do. How do I say this? Like what we do determines who we are to some extent. I mean, not totally, but it's like, you know, how do I say this? It's just like we have the potential. We all have the potential to become really, really good and really, really bad, and we're constantly in a tug of war. We're in a battle. We're in this this battle. You know, we don't fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against all these like forces that are invisible and unseen, and constantly every day we go through this battle in our mind and our souls and our spirits, and about what kind of people do we need to be, that we want to be, and if we decide to be just people for ourselves, then we're not really gonna grow up. There's a couple definitions to what it means to grow up, and you can talk about like physically and biologically you can grow up, and that's the normal definition. Like you grow up and you're about maybe 12 years old for some Indian tribes, and then you have to go through some trials, almost like becoming a Jedi, and you have to prove yourself and go live with wolves for like 10 days and go out in the mountains and kill some people if you're like living in South America or in Africa or some kind of tribe in a uncivilized place, and or maybe like a long time ago they used to do these things in the prehistoric times with the dinosaurs and the cavemen and all these things like that, and maybe you become a man then, biologically speaking and physically speaking, and when you turn 12 or maybe 16, and maybe you're Jewish and you have a bar mitzvah, or what do you call that thing when you grow and you have like a party and like the Indians, but like you're Jewish, and so it's a little different, and you do something when you're like 12 or 16, or like in some countries like America, like 18, or when you can like vote, or 21 when you can like drink or something, and it's like, and then like you finish high school, and then it's like you're legal and you can make decisions without your parents, and you can go and live on your own, and then, you know, start a family and stuff like that, and then once you leave the nest and start your own family and get married or not get married and live with somebody else and do all those things, then you're considered to be an adult. If you have a car and a house and you have those, you know, you have a job, you know, you're making money, or, you know, you're in school and you're in college and you're going after a career, or you're like a professional athlete, like in basketball, the NBA, or you're some kind of artist, or you're Taylor Swift, you're some kind of like musician, or Michael Jackson, or you're something like that. And maybe if you're doing those things that the world considers to be grown-up things, then maybe you're a grown-up. And so the definition of grown-up is basically like you're old enough and like you're doing those things, those normal things that we talk about, that we define by the terms set by society, that the people say, you know, okay, this is what you got to do, and then you're a grown-up if you're acting like the other grown-ups. Or in other words, if you're acting like the other people who are your peers, the people around your age, then maybe you're a grown-up if you're doing what they're doing. But actually, you may not necessarily be a grown-up because if they're not actually a grown-up, then you're not a grown-up either. Even if they say they're a grown-up, that doesn't make you a grown-up if they're not really a grown-up. Because just because they say that they're grown up doesn't mean that you're grown up. Because, hey, you have to ask yourself, are they really grown up? And so then you have to go to an even deeper definition to what does it mean to grow up. And to me, I would take it a step farther to say that growing up means like getting to the point where not only are you like paying the bills and you have work and doing those normal things, but because a lot of like crazy men can do that, and they're like dogs, they're players, and they're sleeping around with women, and they have their freedom, and they're doing all these crazy things, and they're grown-ups, but they're not really good people. So are they really grown up? Do you call those people grown up? Or maybe in a way they're still thinking like children, they're thinking like kids, and that's the problem that we got, because they're still basically like they're older, but they're still not grown up. Because to grow up is to mature, to like develop, like not just physically. That's not what growing up means, not just physically, but that's the definition normally. Grow up, like with your body gets bigger and stronger and stuff, and you know, obviously you're allowed to do more because you're older, and so they give you more permission, and oh, you can work now, here, you have the money, oh, you can live here, and you can have a car and a house and all these other things, and you can do anything you want, and gamble and smoke, and have girls or men or whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat, and you can do those things because you're grown up. And you can fly like Peter Pan, and you can have your cake and eat it at the same time because you're grown up. Oh, yes, oh, baby, you can do it, oh, make my day, oh, wow. Amazing, huh? But it's like, is that really grown up? Is that what it means to be a grown up? Man, have you ever seen Adam Sandler and Chris Rock and those other people in the Grown Ups movie? Grown Ups 1, Grown Up 2? Look at those people. Are they really grown up? Maybe. I mean, I like them. I like comedians and I like them. But I don't mean to be disrespectful and to hate on them and be a player hater and to diss on them and stuff. But I just want to try to make a point by saying, hey, what does it mean to grow up? What do you have to do? You know, like you gotta really like if you want to be a grown up, you gotta like you gotta take care of yourself. You just have to stop coughing, man. It's like, you know, you just gotta like comb your hair because it's like, nobody's gonna believe in you if you don't look good and presentable, and you gotta like take care of yourself. And hey, maybe I can make another video. This is like a 2-in-1 video. Video number 1, how to grow up. And video 2, this is a 2-part video. Part 2, how to comb your hair. How to brush your hair. How to wash your face. How to look handsome. How to look ugly. How to put on a dress. Let me take it off first. This could be like a how to get naked video, okay? You want to know how to get naked? No? No? You disappoint me. Internet, world, people, creepy guy in the living room. Oh, I can see you. You can see me? Yes, I can see you. But it's like, basically, it's like to grow up, you gotta get up, and you gotta go, and you gotta think about other people, and you gotta like heal the world, and hug a tree, and you gotta do all those things. Do you really want me to do those things? Yes, I want you to do those things. I don't want to do those things. Why don't you want to do those things? Because I'm good enough, I'm hot enough, I'm cool enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. People love me so much. People don't like you. People love me so much. People they like me better than sugar and spice. Oh, people don't like you because you're totally like arrogant. You think you're better than everybody. I don't think that. I'm like John McCain. I'm a war hero, man. I'm a veteran. I've lost my arms and my marbles, and I lose it all the time, and I become so angry, and I feel like I gotta go see how much time I got in this video. Oh, 15 minutes. Okay, well, man. So anyways, I hope you can understand what I'm talking about. You know, it's like, I'm talking about what does it mean to grow up. But obviously, I feel like there's a lot more I could say, and growing up is a good thing because you can grow up and you can start to, you can care about other people and love other people, and you can become a father or a mother and, like, you know, raise the next generation and do all those things that mothers and fathers and heroes and role models are supposed to do. You be teachers and engineers and leaders and mostly parents and friends and guardians and all these good things, and you can contribute to society and to your communities, and you can do all those good things, and you already know that. I already know that. Yeah, you already know that, so you can do all those things if you want to. And some of those things are the good things about growing up, but some of the bad things about growing up includes like not trusting people as much, not believing in people, not getting excited about things, there's all these things you don't do anymore. We don't do it as we get older. The older we get, most people, we start to become more blind, more deaf, more slow. We become like slower, and we start to die. We start to we stop believing in people because of how many times people have broke our hearts and stabbed us in the back and done all these horrible things. And I know that personally. They've done that to me so many times, where people say bad things about you. They call you crazy, dumb, stupid. You can't do this, you can't do that, and it happens all the time. And as you grow up, you start to put up walls, and you start to think, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that, and we make ourselves smaller, we dwarf ourselves, and we destroy ourselves, and we stop becoming dreamers and artists. We stop trying to do things, we stop taking risks. I don't mean that we should jump off buildings and take risks like Spider-Man, but take a little bit of risk, calculated risks, and you gotta think about it, man. You gotta, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you gotta, you can grow up, but don't lose your soul. Don't lose that part of you that was there for the beginning, because you can grow up. When you turn 20, when you turn 30, when you turn 50 years old, you can grow up. When you turn 70 years old and you are an old man, you can finally become mature and grow up. It doesn't matter how old you are, and the sooner the better, but better late than never, and sooner or later, you can grow up, and I can grow up, and little by little we grow up more and more. We become bigger and older and stronger and smarter and more wise, like Yoda. But at the same time, don't look down on your own youthfulness, and like Timothy. That's what Paul said to Timothy, and it's you can grow up even when you're 5 years old and 7 years old. You don't have to be an old man. You don't have to wait until then. You grow up, not because you're old enough, but because of your attitude and who you are. I'm going to talk more about this later, but this is basically it. And growing up is great. Grow up, but at the same time, you gotta be like Peter Pan, and you gotta fly, and you gotta believe in yourself and in other people. Otherwise, this world is only gonna get worse. You guys gotta forgive people and love people and care for people. But you can't do that if you're constantly going after people and seeking revenge and doing all those things that we do because we love justice. So important. You know the word justice is very a strong word. It can become a very bad thing. You think about some of the people like Dexter and some of the people like that, and some of the people, they become like Batman, and you go and you kill people, and you try to, you find the bad people that do bad things, and you try to, put them in jail, put them in prison, put them in a dungeon, or kill them if you have to. If you have to kill them or something because they're bad people. And so we do that, and it's good because it's justice, but then it's where do we draw the line? Especially if we're not police, and we're just like Batman or Dexter or something like that. Is it okay? Is it okay to kill somebody, or to hurt somebody, or to punish somebody, or to do a practical joke because they did this, or because they're thinking wrong, or acting wrong, or and because, like, it's good, like, justice is good, and as we grow up, we tend to, like, focus more on that side of the world, the left side, the logical side of justice and stuff, but then we forget about the right side, the creative side of the world, that includes the grace, the mercy of the world and of our hearts, that what we can do, and that's the kind of thing that we start out with. To some extent, we're bad people, but we can grow up a little bit, and we can become good people, and we can choose to we can do good things if we want to, and some of us do more good things than others, and we have the grace side of our hearts and of our souls, and that's the part that becomes to die. Like, it dies over time as we grow up, and that destroys the greatest potential that we have in our lives, because we destroy the grace side to who we are. So please come back to the grace side, to who you are.